I don't believe in more than enough. I don't believe in up and up only. I don't believe in overflow. I don't believe in better than I could have ever imagined. I don't believe in this. Cool. Recognize it. Look at it. Is it ultimately true? No, those are all ideas. They are all stories. Nothing is actually ever ultimately true. So what are we going to choose to believe instead? One of my core beliefs of my life is that I believe our desires are from the divine. Our desires were literally placed in us, in our hearts and our souls by God. The Bible says, and God will give you the desires of your heart. Some people take that to mean he will give them to you, gift them to you, grant them to you. I think that's an accurate interpretation. I also think it means he literally gives them to us, he put them there. So I've decided many, many years ago, I was in my early 20s when I decided to kind of lock in this belief. I didn't know what locking in a belief was at the time. I just knew I resonated with the idea. I was on the phone with a girlfriend. We were talking about God. We were talking about desires. We were both young, didn't know what we were doing. I was still working in ministry. This was a long time ago. And she was like, I just think our desires are safe guidance. And it really stayed with me. I trust in my desires. So that doesn't mean any random fleeting desire necessarily. We can have a random want or random inkling that doesn't feel like it's coming from the depths of our soul, of our heart, from our knower, of that place in us we can really trust. But I really believe in my heartfelt desires, the things I really, 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 really want. That doesn't mean that my superficial desires aren't valid and worthy too. Nothing wrong with getting all your desires. But you know what it's like when you want something and you want it so bad you can't even fucking stand it? I think I've gotten good at letting myself want it, not pushing it down and saying it's unrealistic, not saying it's impossible or invalid or not worth my time, or it means this about me if I do this because I should go be doing that instead. I let myself want what I want, and I let myself want it so bad it sometimes hurts. And then I believe with everything in me that if I want it, it is literally what I'm meant to do on the planet, and heaven and earth will move so I can have it, so I can achieve it, so I create it. I believe that. So with desire being my safe guidance system, it's not just random haphazard fleeting desire. It's me and God doing what I'm meant to do. And that's some serious shit, right? So when we don't like what is occurring with money, my practice is to be isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting that I had this random refund request or this random, I don't really have a lot of weird money things anymore. But when I would feel you pay off a chunk of debt and the next month you have that amount of debt again, or you get to a certain amount in savings and then you manifest an expense to get it out of savings. When all that happens, it's just an indication of your energetic frequency. So you get with money what you're available for, what you're an energetic match for. You have energetic standards. You have a range, typically, an energetic minimum and maximum in every area of your life. How much you receive, there's typically an amount you can't imagine making more than, an amount you can't imagine making less than. Same for savings, same for checking, same for debt. And sometimes those numbers are negative numbers, but you can't imagine maybe overdrafting more than this. You can't imagine being more than 2 months behind on rent or whatever it is. But we all have standards that we just would never allow ourselves to go past, but we often will go to the minimum. So one of the things I teach in Money Mentality Makeover, my digital course on earning, attracting, receiving money, healing our relationship with money, and learning to flow with money in life, one of the things I teach is to raise your minimum and your maximum, to raise your range, to raise your standard into new numbers over time as you develop faith and belief in yourself, in God, and in money, that money will flow through to you. So it's you'll set a goal during the course of an amount of money, you'll attract it and receive it, and then you might be able to imagine attracting more. And in that way, I call this incremental upgrades. In that way, we're able to earn and receive money all the time. What is outside the realm of possibility for you, and what do you expect to have? For me, it is outside of the realm of possibility that I don't make money when I sleep. Every single night of my life, I fully expect to wake up to thousands of dollars every single day. It is so expected, it is outside the realm of possibility for me that it could not be true. But do you get that that's just what I decided? Someone else in the exact same situation could be saying, well, business is really good right now, but I don't expect this to continue. Don't want to get my hopes up. You know, that's not realistic. Things like this can't last forever. And I'm like, no, as my friend Kat says, the better it gets, the better it gets. I expect it to get better and better and better and better and better forever. Like, it's up and up only. There is no requirement for up and down. And so when people say to me, what about if I sign up and a couple bad things happen right away? What does that mean? Typically, the pattern I see there is you expect that there has to be suffering and sacrifice to increase. I must go down before I can go up. I must struggle before I'm worthy. I must work really, really hard before I'll allow myself to receive. Or things can't get better and better and better. If things are gonna get better, they have to get worse first. Or if I invest in myself, then I have to suffer. If I pay for a course like this when maybe I shouldn't have, now I must struggle. Oh, I knew it was the wrong decision. I knew things couldn't get better for me. Do you get what I'm saying? You're just creating it. It's just a pattern you've played in. Does that make sense? It's just a pattern and a dynamic you created and played in over time. It's a construct for how your life goes, but it can be changed. And the first step would be acknowledging it. Shit, I have this pattern that doesn't feel good. I literally expect for good things to happen that bad things have to happen in another area of my life. I really expect if things get better for a while, now they have to get worse. I don't believe in increase. I don't believe in more than enough. I don't believe in up and up only. I don't believe in overflow. I don't believe in better than I could have ever imagined. I don't believe in this shit. Cool. Recognize it. Look at it. Is it ultimately true? No, those are all ideas. They are all stories. Nothing is actually ever ultimately true. So what are we going to choose to believe instead? You know what I mean? We have the opportunity to change our minds every day. And through changing our minds, by changing the thoughts we think, we change the feelings we feel, we change the vibrations that live in our being. And our vibration is our point of attraction. That's what we attract from, is how we feel, how we be, what we think, and the energies that are in us and around us. Does this make sense?